How has Christ like played a role in your life?
By nature, I'm not a good person. By nature. Even with Christ, I'm not that good of a person. But it's through his love, patience, and commitment to me that I can start to find purpose.
The neurological effects on the brain, like from porn.
After I would watch porn, I would definitely feel bad and I'd feel drained. Man looked me straight in my face and said, "You're not good enough." D'Angelo Russell crossed me. First time I played with my bird, he was 10th grade. They came to White Station.
Cigarettes, stick a leak. I ain't even know I gon' land. Tryna go back to the gas, but it's out of gas, my feet in sand. Tuck up to the woods, ain't nigga feel like he YB. I'm a grown ass man, I'ma do what I want to do, cause don't get mad at me. I'm a busy man.
Yo, welcome back to another episode of the Soulful Prosperity Podcast. This is gonna be episode 39, bro. We got a special guest, Coach Curtis. A coach, a husband, a follower of Christ, host of the Mail2Man Podcast. Man, a lot. Just introduce yourself. Tell them a little bit about you.
What's up, y'all? First of all, I appreciate that intro, man. But what's up, y'all? My name is Curtis Phillips. I am a coach. I'm a basketball coach, trainer, former D1 professional basketball player, and former pro. Played overseas for a short stint. I do have a podcast now called the Mail2Man Podcast, focus on male development and healing. But we talk about a lot of things. We talk about struggles, addiction struggles. We talk about money. We talk about God, of course, and fatherhood. So, just have a good time. Yeah.
Yes, sir. I want to dive into one of the things that I've been working with myself. I can speak on that, like addiction. Like I didn't stop weed, Ramadan right now for me. So I didn't stop smoking. Then no lust, no drinking. I want to ask you about that. What were some addictions that you had? Not even just weed or lust. Like what were some addictions that you have that you had to get through as a man?
Man, my main addiction, two main ones, but my main one was pornography, and then the second one was cell phone addiction. Still, I wouldn't say I'm done with pornography yet, but I say I've left from viewing it. Now it's just about healing my brain. Cell phone addiction is still a real thing for me though. So those are my two main ones. Other than that, no super prevalent addictions.
Yeah, I heard you talking about. Oh my bad. What you saying?
Nah. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, I heard you yesterday. You was talking about like the neurological effects on the brain, like from porn, and like that's kind of what I talk about a lot on my Devil Alchemist Daily. I like to talk about like the neuroscience and like healing our mind for success and healing our nervous system for success and those type of things. Like, what was like you was talking about the neuroscience of like porn. What was like got you into like learning that and like the effects that it have on your mind?
Man, I was scrolling on YouTube because I'm addicted to my phone. So I'm on YouTube. And I run across this page, this doctor, her name is Dr. Trish Lee. So you can look her up on YouTube right now, Dr. Trish Lee. And it was just, I didn't know she was a doctor at the time, but she had this video called The Porn Brain Reboot. And I was like, Porn Brain Reboot? And so I clicked the video. It was a short video. And then she starts talking about all these concepts that I never heard before. She starts talking about dopamine drip. She starts talking about the hijacker. She starts talking about what porn does to your mind. And that kind of opened my mind up to the things I had been experiencing, but never really had the language to articulate it. So like I understood that like after I would watch porn, I would definitely feel bad and I feel drained. So she explained why that was going on. I realized that I would become more irritable. She explained why that was going on. And it's all neurological. It's all basically when you're watching porn, her science talks about we get an overload of dopamine. So we talked, and she said, well, if normal life dopamine, because dopamine is good, you're supposed to get it. So if it's on a scale of 1 to 10, then we should be about 9.5. Well, when you watch porn, especially like porn that we get on our phones, and you couple it with masturbation, it goes to like a 25 out of 10. And that overload of your brain really kills the brain in so many different ways. So that just kind of opened up my mind, and I just fell down a rabbit hole on her page. And it led me to eventually end up talking about it with her, on my podcast. So when I got a podcast, she was one of the first guests I thought about. And just so happened, I was blessed to have her on. So it's, with that being said, it's just, it was so captivating and destructive, and it gave me so many words. It made me feel like, all right, dang, I'm just not a piece of crap. Like, it's actually some neurological, scientific things that's going on with my mind. Yes, do I need to stop lusting? Yeah, but it's deeper than just, oh man, it's deeper than just this lust and me just being a bad dude or feeling like a bad dude and feeling that shame. It's like, nah, my brain is addicted to this level of dopamine now.
No, facts. And that's like kind of with the cell phone as well. Like, even me, because I think we all addicted. Like, a lot, not all, like most people in America, like, these cell phones, like, that's dopamine as well. Like, and we get addicted to that as well. And like, even you were speaking on like feeling bad after we masturbate and those things. That's something I think I hear that so much, because even me, I went through that as well. Like, I started young, like just watching porn. I didn't know how to identify that as well. I didn't know how to put the words in, like, why do I feel this way and these type of things. I feel sad and bad after I do it. So I think that's very important for like the kids, because I know it's a lot of people in college right now. They scared to talk to girls because they rather watch porn and do these things. And that's one of the things I challenged myself to do when I got to college. No, the first year I was tripping, and then like now I kind of just challenged myself. I think one of the things I challenged myself to do is like just go shoot your shot to like 5 girls, just to challenge myself and like get unscared. And I just want to watch porn and kill our brain, for overload our brain. That is true. I can understand what you were saying off of that. But I want to ask you this. Let's get into what was like the journey of going D1, because I got a lot of sport people that watch this podcast. 'Cause that's kind of where I came from, was doing sports. So what was like the journey from high school, like, to college, and then college to after overseas and those things?
Man, so to take my story back a little bit, I'm actually from Knoxville, Tennessee.
Yeah.
So, typical African American families break up. So mom ended up moving. Mom ended up moving to Memphis, where she's from. I got a lot of family here. Dad stayed in Knoxville, so I ended up going with my mom. And so I'm just like a little 13, 14-year-old kid, and I walk into high school for the first day at a new school in a new city. And I don't know what is going on. In Knoxville, the black population is very small compared to Memphis. And so I walk into a school that's, diversified from what they call it, but not what I'm used to. And I go to White Station. And, I walk in the campus, and the first time I've ever seen 6'8", 6'9" high schoolers. Like, it's the first time I've ever seen, like, grown men. And so from there, I'm like, okay, I know I can hoop, but nobody knows me. I don't know the coach. I don't know anything. So I am terrified, to be honest with you. Like, I don't know what's going on.
Coach Tippett. Coach Tippett was there. Coach Tippett was there.
Patino?
Coach Tippett, or is this Patino for you?
This was Coach Patino. Coach Patino was still there. So I played for Coach Patino. He's still coaching now. Tippett had left about 3 years prior, I think. 3 or 4, probably 4 years prior. So, because I came in right after Joe Jackson left. So, Andre Hollins, Nino, Marvin, Tevin, shout out to all them boys. They senior year, I was their freshman. So I come in and I start, I don't know anybody. So I just start hooping in gym. And then from there, coach seen me in the East Gym. He called me. He took me to the main gym where the the varsity high school played, and it was like, hey, look at this kid, he got something. I'm a scrawny little freshman. Now I'm finna go, it's easy killing dudes in gym, but now you finna go to varsity and the real competition coming from a small city to Memphis, which is, I think, the basketball hub of Tennessee. I don't think there's a Nashville can't see us, Jackson can't see us in basketball. It's just, I'm sorry. So I started.
They're gonna get on you in the
I'm
comments.
seeing like dudes that I'm thinking are grown 20-year-olds. They ripped. They got muscles. I don't have anything. I'm skinny, scrawny little kid. So anyway, fast forward. So basically, I stick along. I stay around. I get to varsity, and from varsity, I end up making it on varsity my freshman year, halfway through the season. And then sophomore year, like, I get a little bit of playing time. And then junior year, I'm starting. And then senior year, I'm starting. And then going back and forth from starting off the bench, because we had a really good team. My team, we had Chris Chioza, LaRon Black, DeVale Roby, Nick Smith, Derek Dandridge,
Dogs.
L.A. And so we had I want to say we broke a record, but I'm not sure we broke it. We had 5 guys go D1 for my senior class. So Dalvin Foster, don't let me forget Dalvin. All the guys from my class, and then Dylan went on to play NFL football. So we were just loaded. So basically, I just I kept working, and I eventually, found my spot on varsity. And then from there, I went and played AAU with the Magic. Coach Joe Washington, shout out to Joe. Was playing with him, and I really got a real shot to kind of prove what I can do, because I was kind of always playing behind guys in high school, and deservingly so. They were better than me. They were better than me. They were more confident in me. But I finally got a chance to show what I could do on the Magic, and then a little school in Raleigh, North Carolina, seen me, called Campbell University, and so they recruited me. I had them in Jacksonville State. And they gave me a shot, and I took off from there. I ended up transferring from Campbell to Tennessee Tech, where I finished out my career in the OVC. But yeah, that's my story, man. White Station, nationally ranked team, and it was just a good ride. But that's kind of how I got there, man. Literally from gym class hooping, and somebody seen me, so I really feel like it was God in my story, because I don't think I was ever supposed to be, go D1, or when I look back, I was never supposed to go D1 or play pro, get paid to play basketball. That wasn't supposed to be me, but it happened.
Yeah, that's dope. That's crazy. That's crazy. Like, what year did you make varsity? Was it your freshman year did you make varsity, or did it take time to get to varsity?
It took time. I did make it my freshman year, but it was like halfway through the season. So I tell this story. I walked into his office one day as a freshman. That's before I think even season started. And I was like, Coach, what I got to do to get on varsity? And I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, all right, he finna tell me that's some real thing. Like, okay, you want to be on varsity? This is what you got to do. Man, looked me straight in my face and said, you can't. You're not good enough. And I was like, I just sunk down in the chair. And I was like, oh my God, my heart was broke. And then, but he was like, just keep on working, keep on being better as a freshman, and then you'll get a chance. But after that, I was pissed off. I did the Kobe thing. I went outside for hours outside my house and was just shooting. Not getting no better, but just shooting outside because I was pissed off. And then from there, I just started working, man, and working how I can. I wasn't finna act like I was sitting here grinding, because I didn't know how to work hard. But I was just continue to play in practice, showed up, tried to be a good guy as much as I knew how, and I got my chance eventually. I became Now I became the best player on the freshman team at White Station, and we were loaded. Like, we had a really, really good freshman class. Outside of DeVale Roby and LaRon Black, they were already on varsity. They didn't have to touch freshmen. But the regular guys who was on the freshman team, I became the best under them, and I got called up.
Yes, sir. What was some of the best players you played during high school? Like, give me your top three players that you played in high school, certified buckets.
D'Angelo Russell crossed me. First time I played him, played with my bird. He was 10th grade, they came to White Station. You know, he was 10th grade, I was 10th grade. I don't think I knew it at the time, but I was so scared. And he crossed me and shot. Thank God he missed. But then we played him again with him. It was him and Ben Simmons and some other guys. And they were number 1, we were number 3. And we tricked the game off. We should have won that game. But Ben Simmons was, that's leading me to my second one. Ben Simmons, he was unstoppable in high school. It was ridiculous.
They forget about Ben Simmons. They be hating on him. They be forgetting how good he was.
They hate on him now. You couldn't talk to him like that. You could not talk to him like that in high school. I promise you. He did not want any problems. He was the same size that he is right now that he was with Philly in high school. And he caught a pass, like a lob at the top of the backboard, one arm, and dunked on our best player. And I was like, yeah, it's different out here. I played against so many dudes, though. I would say the next hardest to stop is Jahlil Okafor, though. Jahlil Okafor was a real problem.
Big.
Could not stop him. He was too big, too skilled. And then
They forget about him, too.
You might not know, but his name was Gabe York. We ended up beating his team. He had a triple team him, though.
He made it to NBA,
York,
didn't it?
Huh?
He made it to the NBA, too.
Yeah, I think Gabe York played in the NBA for a minute. Gabe York was a real problem. Oh man, I played against a lot of dudes. Another guy before he got famous. Dang, his name is escaping me, but white guy. He plays with Phoenix now, can shoot.
Gillespie?
Huh?
Colin Gillespie?
Not Gillespie. He played at Duke. He was always tripping people.
Oh, Grayson Allen.
Grayson Allen, man. But I played against him in AAU before he like caught fire. And I walked out thinking, man, this white boy can't do nothing. Dude, he was a problem. I don't know if he plugged me. He might have plugged me. He got a steal, went down court, reverse dunked it, and I was like, okay, well, I'm from white boys can't do that. So it was he was a huge issue. So those guys, top 3, it's probably D. Russell, Jahlil Okafor, and Ben Simmons, but those 2 guys are definitely honorable mentions for sure.
Yes, sir. So I want to transition to what was like the transition from college to overseas, like having to go overseas. I hear a lot of people, like a lot of stories of overseas players, like just the transition from America to, a whole new country.
Overseas is a different ball game. I'm not gonna lie to you. When at that time, I think now college is a little different with NIL. At that time, college was still kind of like, you a kid a little bit. Like you a young man, but you kind of still a kid. Once you step foot overseas, any type of pro, you a man. Like they treat you as such. So it was definitely different for me being that far away from like civilization, not knowing anybody. Like you coming in, they put me in I think it was probably 4-bed. I think it was a 4-bedroom, like little tiny apartment, 1 bathroom with 4 dudes I didn't know. You got to live with them, and y'all all competing kind of for the same minutes and shots and all that. So it's just kind of it's dog eat dog, and you just got to be ready for it. Like at that time, I wouldn't let nobody touch my head, so no haircuts. Got to get used to the food, travel, It's just being on a different time zone, being so far away. So it was a lot different, but it gave me a great experience to be able to travel, to see different things, to see basketball at a higher level. Like you go over there, you play against guys. Like I played in Cyprus. It's a really good league when I was playing there. So you go against guys that you see playing in the ACC, playing in the SEC, playing high level basketball that are over there as pros now, and you like getting your shine against them. So I felt good doing it because I'm like, all right, they said I wasn't good enough to go to a high major in college, but now we both pros in the same league. Like let me see what I can do. So that was always fun, man. And then just being young and being overseas, you live a life a little bit. So it was just fun, man. It was fun, but it's definitely. If my advice would be like, you have to really know what you want. Don't go over there playing around as far as like not serious. Like be able to make a good routine, be willing to work out at your house, be comfortable not having a lot. Because you go from one of the major things, you go from D1 where you have a lot, and you don't think about it. Like you have weight room facilities, you got meal plans, you got when you go overseas and you might not get paid a lot, you don't have that. You don't have anybody giving you shoes. You got to come over with your own shoes. If your shoes break, you got to buy your own shoes because now we paying you. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to get you're not getting new tights. You don't think of that. We always you get new tights, new spandex and stuff like that. That's not happening overseas. And when you're getting paid, $500, $1,000, $1,500 a month. But the good thing is, most of the time they take care of your room and board, and so you don't have to really pay anything. But it's just, you over there on a mission, so it's really no time to play around and mess around.
That's fine. What was some of the players over there? Was it like some player that came from the league that was in the league and then came overseas, or was it just more of college players that probably went undrafted or second round G League players?
It was a good amount of high major players over there. Man, there's this guy he was highly touted out of high school and then went big in college. I think he went to North Carolina. I can't remember his name, but there was guys from North Carolina over there. There was guys from, all types of places. And you wouldn't think, I was like, you see these guys leaving college and you forget about them because they're not in the league and they're not in the G League, and then you find them and you like, oh man, like, yeah, like he can really ball. Players from America and stuff over there making good money, like over there making $8,000-$9,000 a month in a country you never heard of. And it's just, so I forgot his name, but he went to North Carolina.
Yeah, what was like
thinking about off the top of my head? There was more, but I can't really remember because it's been a minute.
Yeah, what was like what was the? I know that I heard you heard that conversation David West had like with like the overseas players, like overseas, the kids from overseas, they get to develop better than the American players. Did you kind of see that like over there with like overseas players, they were pro at like 15, 16, already pro, or were they kind of not pro? You didn't see that.
Well, it's how they do it. So over there, they're all different. They didn't really do the college basketball thing. They had pro leagues, so you have young guys that's already playing pro in the leagues over there. So they have different levels of leagues. There's a top league, it's a middle league, maybe a bottom league, or maybe it's just a top and a bottom league. So you see the young guys coming up through the pro leagues, having to go through pro routines, and over there they understand. A lot of times they don't take it for granted. They understand the money that's in it. They understand they can change their family's life, so they treat it like a job early on. It's just kind of a different mindset. America, we have been overtaken so much by capitalism and making money and ambition that we have lost the true spirit of the game. So for example, AAU. AAU is run by shoe companies. Not at this point. It's run by shoe companies. There is no real coaching and teaching. There's a whole bunch of coaches flying players in, best players, and just putting them on out there, and you're gonna play because you have a high ranked team, or I flew you from here, and I done spent all this. I done paid $800, spent $800 on the flight for you, so you're gonna play even though you ain't been practicing, you're not playing well, and it's all about money. They're paying kids in AAU now too, so it's just there is no real, I don't think, care for the kids anymore. There's no care for developing, and as a trainer, I share responsibility in this. It's not. A lot of kids are training, they're not playing, so they don't actually love the game. They're just training. They don't go outside and hoop. They don't go to the rec centers and hoop. They just come to the trainer for an hour and a half, and feel like they're good. And the trainers are teaching, all the trainers are teaching the same skills. So a lot of our games are the same. Like, there's not a lot of variety in the way we play basketball now. And I talked about that when I was training. Like, there's no style. Like, you look back in the day, Duke had a style, whether it be like a bunch of very smart white guys who knew how to move the ball, play smart, shoot. They were tough. Arkansas had a style when it's get up and press you. We're going to hound you 94 feet. And you knew you was going to get that press. Syracuse had a style. You knew you was going to get
2-3.
that high 3-2, that high 2-3. And you was going to have to, they was long. You have to be ready for it. Like, North Carolina had a style. You knew you had to deal with those bigs. Like, we don't have, and players don't have a style. We have shooters nowadays. But when it comes to like handling the ball and how we move, movement patterns, a lot of that stuff is the same, and it's uniform. And I don't really like it. It's not my style of it. I miss when we had different styles. When you had the slasher, you had the shooter, you had the guy that can, then you had certain guys that can do it all. So I do think overseas is better because they're teaching fundamentals. They care about the game more. They prioritize like good basketball, good sets, taking the right shots over just entertainment. And our game is just geared towards entertainment, getting buckets, and just being on a highlight instead of like really growing and teaching. So it's sad.
There's like what's it called? The mixtape culture. Like there's the mixtape culture really. Yeah, I think like even as a cameraman, I was recording games. I'm like, they doing it for the clip. It's like clip farming. They Twitch clip farming. I'm a Twitch. I like you clip farm on the court. It's crazy. Yeah. It's insane.
Nah, facts. Like kids are talking crazy to refs. Parents are talking crazy, doing crazy things. It's hard to coach American kids because the parents get crazy. And there's no respect level. There's no trust, and I just think overseas they kind of old school with how the culture is acceptable. How a coach can talk and discipline a player, like it's understood. Like that's the coach. We understand authority, and in America is player then coach, and that's an imbalance of power, which is a problem. So yeah, you do see kids, they're playing, they don't watch basketball at all. That's another problem. Kids don't watch basketball. They play in 2K and they're watching highlights on Instagram and sometimes on YouTube. So if you don't really watch basketball, you don't play basketball, the only thing you do is train, play AAU, how can you get better? How can you learn? So our players are dumber now. Like
they're not thinking the game. They just hooping.
Kids like, shout out, hey, if you on my middle college team right now, we're not here anymore. But when I first got the team, they didn't know how to run the flex offense. Like for me, flex is like that. Like it's one of the first offenses you learn how to run. So when he was putting in flex, and it was like, what is flex? And I was just like, you can't make this up. How do you make it to be a senior, junior high school? You don't know how to run flex. So it's just stuff like that in America that we just dropping the ball in.
What you think as a coach and as a trainer, how do you think we can shift that culture from where is it now, from being entertainment to being more of actually development and actually being more serious?
Oh man, the sad part about it is I don't think we can because it's too much money in it now. You would have to get the Nikes, the Adidas, and the Under Armours out the picture. That's the first thing. So you got to get the shoe companies out because the shoe companies are paying. You're getting people in the game that's not supposed to be there. You have people who never played basketball but maybe are businessmen who can put together a team, coaching teams, doing it for the money, who are, misusing and abusing kids. You got these shoe companies that are misusing it, just basically raising up cattle. And then you got the NBA that's complicit with it because they are using the NBA in college as a farm system, and they just picking and choosing and they're trying to grow stars. So all they doing is like, okay, well, I'm gonna allow this person to go through the ringer and get with this and build his brand and eventually come to the NBA and we'll have a homegrown star. So I don't know if it can really get better. It would have to be something. I probably so bad will have to happen to where parents get together and just we start to change the system. We gear back towards focusing on college basketball, developing kids, playing less AAU games, and really teaching kids the game of life through basketball. I think we lost that. We used to teach the game of life through basketball, but now, it's about ambition, it's about money, it's about like getting to the league and clout and aura and all that stuff. Like I seen a quote from Naismith the other day. He was like, coaches with their ambition to win over teaching kids how to play and play free are going to ruin the game, and that's what's happening. You got coaches. He's talked about, you not want kids to be drilled to death. So now, man, when I was in college in one of my schools, we did drills the whole practice, and I hated it, because I love to play basketball. So, you should be doing a lot of scrimmaging. You should get away from drills. You need to take a break. Honestly, you shouldn't be playing. You shouldn't spend your whole summer playing AAU. I think you should, in my opinion, you should spend a month, and then you should take time to just relax, train, and play and have fun with the game. So to answer your question, sadly, I don't think we can change it because it's just too much money in and now. You're not going to be able to get those behemoths out the game, those shoe companies. We're too money hungry with the people who are running the AAU organizations and the agents who are in it. It's just too overrun with greed and ambition and just wickedness, honestly, now. But, if there was some type of miracle, I say get the shoe companies out of the way, take some money out of it, honestly, and just get it back to just playing for the love of the game.
Do you think because usually it starts at the top, NBA, then college, now they integrated NIL. And I think that's part of it. Like people ready to go get that money. I heard like a lot of college coaches talking about you can't even talk to a player in a certain way because it's like you can't even coach him in a sense. I was watching Houston the other day. They had made a post like the Houston coach was talking. Well, yesterday against who they played, not Michigan. It was another team. I forgot who they played, but it was one of the best teams. He talked to a point guard. The point guard just talking back to him. And I remember Houston coach. I just watched Houston coach. I like Houston because that's like a dog. They some dogs, play hard. And I was watching that. I was like, that's kind of like the example of what's going on. And I want to ask you this: what do you think about like the NBA players? They go to the NBA and then now they're able to come back to college. Like that's just insane to me. Like the Baylor. I know Baylor did it. I think Alabama was that Alabama. Alabama. I think they just ruled Charles. I don't know how to say his last name. They ruled him out. But what do you think about that? Like,
it's nasty. It's nasty. When I seen it, I frowned my face up, probably just the same way you do. Because I feel like once you step over to play pro, and you really get a contract and you really start and you in the system, you're a pro. And then what else I think is nasty. I think there's a guy at Auburn. I think he transferred from Auburn, but these guys who are 24, 25, 26 still playing, nasty. You're grown. You're a grown man.
You're kids.
If you are over 23 in college basketball, you're nasty. Like, go play pro. Go challenge yourself. Yeah. Now, obviously, if I'm 25 years old, they're going to let me do it and they're going to give me $4 million. I don't care what any guy is saying on the podcast. I'm doing it. Don't get it twisted. But just like the competitive nature and loving the game, like, bro, you're not actually good at basketball. You just older than everybody. Like, you 24, 20. Of course, when you playing against 18, 19, 20-year-olds. Like, so going back, the NCAA has to come up with better rules all the way around when it comes to disciplining the players on how their conduct, showing up, being able to get paid. The Darren Peterson situation. If Darren Peterson is low managing, just because he's trying to get to the NBA, Darren is nasty and he needs to be fined. I feel like it's killing the game. It's killing the game. If he's actually hurt, then he's hurt. But stuff like that, like being 25, 26, playing, 6 and 7 years, like, They gotta cut that out. I honestly feel like there should, with the portal too, it should be stricter rules. I think we need to go to, like, if you go in the portal, you sign an NIL contract. I think it should be a 2-year contract. Like, I think if you go somewhere, you should have to stay there 2 years. Now, I'm not saying you should get your year taken away, because I got a year taken away. That sucks. But you should have to stay there you should have to stay there at least 2 years. I don't like this. I go from one team to the next team to the next team. I'm hopping in the portal every time. Because I think, especially for men, that's bad for our mental development. That's bad for how we look at life, because life is tough, and you're not going to be able to when you just constantly run from things, you make weak man. And so that's kind of part of the portal, is making weak man. So we need to be able to go through rough and hard things. So I think they should tighten up the transfer rules and the portal rules a little bit, by adding maybe a 2-year rule. And I think that they got to get away from allowing all these guys to have the extra years, the 5th and 6th year. They got to get away from that. Get that out the game. I think they're doing it because they want players to come back and, make more money and have a better, but again, it's money driven. It's not for the betterment of the people or the game. It's just about money. So they got to get away from that. Get the old heads about the game, and
for sure.
Tighten up those portal rules.
Now that's like, I be looking at it's like playing a 12th grader playing a 9th or a 8th grader or 7th grader. That's kind of how I look at it. Like, bro, you played against people that's been in the league 5-6 years already, so you should be killing them. And then the sad part for me is, like, I heard Jeff Teague and them say there's gonna be people that come back from the NBA and they gonna be trash. They gonna be not still be mid, and that's the sad part to me. Like, how you gonna come back from the NBA and still be mid? I think that's the sad part. You just gotta get the old stuff out of here. But I want to shift from sports. I want to get into, like, what was your transition from coaching, training, and now you get into doing podcasting and things like that? What was, like, that transition for you?
Man, it was tough, because, some people experience this earlier on. I was one of the guys who experienced it before I wanted to. But, you put your whole identity into this game, from the fact that, just, Dave, if you look at younger kids now who hoop or play football, just look at their Instagram name. It'd be like, I Get Buckets Cam, or Swish. His name just might be Swish, or Bucket Fam, or something with basketball, like literally as their name. So
identity.
Yeah, you come up and you have this identity of, like, all right, this is what I'm gonna do. This is who I am. I am a basketball player. You see little things like guys, like, for me, I didn't really care. I cared about looking good on the court. I didn't even necessarily care about dressing outside. So it's like, I was really like trying to make basketball my full identity. I wasn't fooling myself until I put on a jersey. So when that comes to an end, it's tough. And because I believe we are underdeveloped as athletes in a lot of situations, because when you're an athlete, you start getting looked at as kind of like, you're going to get the family out, at least in the Black community, you're going to get the family out the situation. Teachers, if you're good, teachers stop being as hard on you. You don't have the amount of responsibility that other kids will have, like going to get a job or doing other things, because, you always playing, and everybody understands, okay, well, he going to go to college and he's going to play pro and he got a chance to make it to the league, or he got an AU game, so he's tired. So we become undeveloped as people, especially young men. And so when you lose that, it's tough. So I definitely went through depression when I decided to walk away. Like, well, first of all, I got cut, and then I decided to walk away from the game. And so when I did that, when I decided to walk away instead of like taking another opportunity, it was tough because I didn't know what I was going to do, because I was going to go to the league my whole life. Even though I went overseas, I had a plan to go to the league. So I was like, okay, I'm going to do this 2-3 years. I'm going to build up, boom, build my name over here. I'm going to get to the league and I'm going to do this. And from there, I'm going to do. So all of my plans hinged on that. So losing that and then realizing like I haven't taken any time in my life to see what I like to do outside of basketball. I don't know what my purpose is. I don't know what I like to do for work. And now I go from playing in front of hundreds, thousands of people to now I'm working. Well, first of all, I didn't have a job, but then, okay, had to work at Kroger, worked at FedEx, coached, started my business. When I started my business, I was like, okay, I feel something here. But it took me a minute to kind of figure out like what I want to do. And I'm just now doing that. So like when I got out, started my business and started coaching and realized I was passionate about kids and entrepreneurship and finance. So I went down that road of finances and trading and then I had my business, was coaching with Chioza and ended up, leaving there and then started at FedEx, became a manager there. And now like when I found podcasts, just really praying because I'm like, man, I know I got a good job, but this is not what I want to do. Like, and then when you're a former athlete, when you young man, when y'all finally get in the workforce and you've been hooping or playing, folks ask you like, dang, like you hooped to play, so why ain't you went pro? Like, why are you here? And then that like stuff like that just burn you up. You're like, bro, I'm a
regular human now.
So
yeah.
I'm a person just like you.
For real.
So the transition is tough because on the front end, we don't take the extra time we need to learn what our hobbies are. We don't take the time we need to grow really as people. A lot of athletes are underdeveloped. Like when you see stories like Kevin Durant, like he didn't know how to cash a check. He didn't know how to access certain things like access his bank account. It's a lot of things like other people do, and that happens a lot in athletes. A lot of folks cover up bad things they do. Folks are not really as hard on them because they looking at them, like I said before, as a meal ticket. So when I realized, okay, like, dang, that's me. A lot of stuff I don't know how to do because I was putting all my time into basketball. So now I feel behind because I've put all my time and attention here and I don't know what else to do. So the transition was taking me a minute to find my purpose. And now, I just turned 30. So now I'm 30 and I finally got off my tail and started my podcast. And I feel like, okay, I feel like I'm in my purpose now. I'm starting in my purpose now with that and with coaching. So the transition was just a journey of me learning myself, putting one foot in front of the other, and then just starting stuff. But I say my advice to all young men is start to build something. Like put your hands to something. Like if you have any idea, if you're an athlete, you getting out of it, you have any idea, start to build something. It could be a podcast. It could be a YouTube. It could be Twitch. It could be a car business. It could be art. Whatever is on your mind and heart to build, no matter how big or small, start to build it. And then if you fail, so what? You fail, but you learn something, right? And then eventually you're going to find what it is that you're supposed to be doing, your purpose work, as long as you don't give up. As long as you just don't do what I did at first, going to FedEx, just you do something just for the money, just for survival, because you can get stuck in that loop. If all you are doing is going to work just to get paid, to pay your bills, and you hate your job and you hate your life every day, you can get stuck in that because it's going to be consistent. The bills, you getting paid.
Get paid.
You look up 20, 30 years later and your life is gone and you hate your freaking life because you just survived and you never took the chance or you never trusted yourself enough to actually start following towards what your purpose. So my thing is start building something. Don't be afraid. And all you got to do is kind of start searching and your purpose will find you because there's a lot of stuff times is just waiting on you. Like when I first started my business, I was trying to get it on, I started interviewing people. Like I started doing lives. And I was always very interested in like hearing people's stories and kind of like semi-interviewing them, even though I would just meet people that I thought was cool. Yeah. And so it was like God was telling me a long time ago, like, all right, hey, you need to be interviewing, like you need to be talking to people. But it took me to, I was 29, 30 years old. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna start this podcast to be like it's happening. And now it's just doors are just like where I love basketball. I thought it was my purpose. But basketball didn't come supernatural to me. I had natural gifts, but it didn't come supernatural. A lot like podcasting for me is coming more natural. Like it's coming more, and doors are starting to open. Now I still got to work hard. We still got to work hard. Even when you find a purpose, you still got to work hard. But when you start to find your lane and you start to really walk in it with intention and faith and purpose, like God will open up doors for you. So
Facts.
that's what the transition like for me, man. I've been doing this like a month and a half now, actually putting up episodes. So it's been dope. It's been good to find something I like other than basketball that I'm really passionate and like doing and love showing up to work to do. And I'm just excited.
Oh, facts. I like what you said. Like a lot of people, they go through that. They go through that identity crisis. Like, not having to do their sport anymore. Even me, like that's kind of how I went. Like, but I remember I told Coach Real. I tell this story all the time. We had got a game, bro. I remember I got a game winner hit in my face in Florida, but I already was on like the mindset of like just I already knew I wanted to do something beyond basketball. It's just like you said, it came basketball. It still came natural, but it wasn't like what I wanted to do, like content and things like that. I remember I was like, bro, I want to see everybody else go to college.
Yeah.
So I can go do what I do. That's my goal, to get everybody else to college. I remember we had like a meeting because we had got this. It was like the 11th graders, and I was just talking to them. I remember I told Coach Real and Matt, Charvez, shout out to the guys. Bro, I remember I was like, bro, I want y'all to go to college and play basketball. I'm gonna do what I do in college. Then that was like the journey. But I had the identity crisis. I didn't know what to do. I was just making content. I remember the season ended, bro. I started like just making content and things like that, and it was like it came natural. And then I was like, bro, okay, I'm gonna go be okay, because I didn't know what I had got hurt my first game senior year, bro. I was like, bro, God, why me? And then it was just like that journey for sure. And then like God, like you said, He opened that door. He was showing me like, okay. And then I had a car accident. Like the game before I come back, I had a car accident. I'm like, bro, what is going on? But I think God was trying to really tell me, bro, you got more to do, got more purpose in this life. And now it took me 3 years to even like now the seeds I planted though back then is just now, growing. And that's one of the things I say is like you gotta failure. Like you said, failure is just a lesson. It's just to see what you're not supposed to do. And then now I'm like numbers going up, podcast streaming, everything going up at once, and getting sober, these different things. 'Cause I went through the depression, I was smoking, things and this, just trying to escape reality and run away from God and run away from my higher self. And I was like, bro, okay, I have to connect with myself and these type of things. And that was what happened with me. So like, I feel that story. I know a lot of athletes are gonna go through this, and that's why I told y'all that yesterday at the event. Like this, I want to give the platform, or even not just podcast, like come hop on the stream, but just talk or chill, go do some fun stuff, go play basketball on stream, and it gets you content. I know how it be like for athletes coming out of high school or coming out of college, having that identity crisis. Like, bro, what am I supposed to do? I thought I was going to the league. I had no other plan. And like, we don't get those. Like you said, when I was in high school and college, bro, I know I ain't supposed to pass high school. They passing me for grades, all type of stuff. I'm like, bro, I ain't even do the work. And I'm like, these type of those lessons, like you miss those lessons that these regular people, not regular people, but just non-athletes, like they get to go work a job. They get to go, not everybody don't know you and this and that. Like they just go through that. And that was one of the things I went through as well. You probably went through like kind of like everybody start treating you different after you stop hooping and you stop doing those things. They start treating you different. That'd be insane. So that was very dope what you said. I want to ask you this though. What, like, as a husband, and I heard yesterday you said you're a husband now. You just became a husband. And how do you like balance like just the strength and being vulnerable with your wife as well, just as a man?
Great question. Well, my wife is my podcast producer, man. So I think as a husband, one of the things that I think we need, and I always come to things from a biblical perspective, whether anybody, you or your listeners, believe it or not. But I think you need purpose with your wife, and you need purpose work with her. So my wife is a therapist, and so she listens and heals people, and her purpose is towards women. So when I started my podcast, and my thing is like being a mentor, showing fatherhood, showing like young men like how to do it. Like, all right, how do I go about life when I'm 18, 19, to 29, 35 years old? Like, I don't know what steps to take. I don't gotta, maybe you don't have a dad in your life or something like that. So our purpose started aligning, and then she became a part of it, and she's like super supportive of me, and I love her for that. That's my baby. And so how I balance it is, you just gotta have open communication. And the nature of balancing is sometimes you go too far this way, and sometimes you go too far this way, and you always just kind of trying to find the middle. And so I don't know. We talk about it, and we learning every day. And I enjoy, like, a lot of folks will tell you some crazy stuff about marriage that come and be like, ooh. But marriage has been dope for me. It has helped me, first of all, to be honest with y'all, stay out the streets. It has helped me, like, mentally. And, like, when you get married, God blesses man in a way that we don't really understand. Like, when you get married, like, doors become open. Like finances, like if you're doing it right, like finances like begin to break open, and like you really see God's favor on your life. And like I'm saying this now, but I'm realizing in real time, like, yeah, I found my purpose after I got married. Like I didn't start the podcast. I had the podcast idea for, a few years. I didn't start it till after I got married, and now it's taking off. So marriage is a great thing. I advise every guy to do it. Because literally your other half is out there. No matter how successful you are, if you're not married, your other half, and there's a greater you out there. So whether you believe it or not, that's just my opinion. But as far as just balancing it, it's been great. It comes with communication. There's good days and bad days. And I think with relationships, man, you just got to choose the right woman, though, because you can't be married to the wrong one, and you'll feel like everything I just said was a lie, because your life would not be blessed to be married to the wrong person. But that's it's
gonna be a man like he's lying in the comments. That's what they gonna say.
Yeah,
they gonna be saying that in the comments. I want to ask you this though, as a follower of Christ. I know I'm not a Christian myself. I'm more of a Muslim. That's kind of my route of myself. But I want to ask for my Christian followers, like, how has Christ like played a role in your life and like shaped you as a man, like your values, your integrity, your morals, and those type of things?
Oh man, like Christ and God are the whole reason I'm here. Like by nature, I'm not a good person by nature. Even with Christ, I'm not that good of a person, but it's through his love, patience, and commitment to me that, like, I can start to find purpose. I can start to be a better person. I can find my wife. Like, it's through so much of just hearing his voice, following his direction, and even messing up, like him still loving me. Like, because, so much of me where I am today and not being like how certain people in my family are, like not really doing anything, alcohol, weed addiction, and like kind of allow that to ruin their lives, or allow heartbreak to ruin their lives to where they just like kind of threw their whole lives away and just was, just been sad and heartbroken and, for years and years.
Yeah.
But for me to like start to break off curses, for me to enter some of the rooms that I've entered, for me just to be healthy and have a healthy mindset, at this age, is all because of him. So morally, I'm gonna just, my grandfather just passed, and one of the things they said at his funeral that was consistent was he loved women. Like, and I was just thinking, like, love my granddad, but like I don't want that to be my legacy. Like that I just had a bunch of women around. Like I couldn't get off of women, and now I got 6, 7 kids that don't know me, haven't taken care of me. I haven't taken care of them, and I'm creating all these broken homes. And that was my destiny. Like my destiny was, you know, having a bunch of women, having a bunch of babies out of wedlock, and just doing that thing, and just becoming a person who has no value but just destroys society. So Christ changed my whole mindset. He gave me purpose. He gave me strength. Like brought me out of that depression. Brought me out of the depression. Was he knocking at my door every day like, hey, get up out of it? But he was doing, it's like little subtle things he does, like gives me books, or he'll give me a kid to train, maybe like a dev, and like will spark something, and I'll be like, all right, like I gotta help. And then when you are able to look back and put the story together, you see like, man, he was here the whole time. And like even through doubts, 'cause I doubted a whole lot, he's always given me the information I need and giving me the life situation I've needed to make it through and affirm like who he is. So, man, without Christ, you know, my destiny, I think, is my grandfather's destiny, because, you know, he passed it down. It's just whoremongering, liquor, weed, you know, being a trash father and having really no serious purpose in life, just chasing and being lazy. Like by nature, I'm not a guy who has a crazy work ethic. I'm just not. So I would be a guy who just wastes my life away without God, literally. So from the way I think to the way I look, the way I dress, and the lifestyle I have now, God has done everything for me, and it's just because he loves me. Simply as that. Just because he loved me and he chose me. So, man, I'm indebted to him with my life.
Facts. I want to ask you that, like, that journey of like, what age was you like, okay, I'm gonna take Christ serious, and like, because for me, that's kind of what I'm going through right now, like fasting, bro. Like, I can say this for my Ramadan, bro. Fasting is like, it's showing me like it's all this temporary success and temporary fun. It don't mean nothing. Like, it's not lasting. It's not everlasting. And like, what was like the journey for you of, okay, I'm gonna take life serious, because you know you're gonna get tested. You're gonna have those times where your faith is tested. So what was like, okay, I'm gonna take this serious, because now with my faith tested, now I'm kind of like, I see the pattern. Like what you said, God would give you like a sign to see how much you really want what you say you want, and if you're serious about this, are you serious about Him? So what was like that situation for you? Okay, I'm locked in with Christ. I'm locked in with God. I'm gonna take this serious, and I'm gonna live through Him. I'm gonna live by the way He teaches us to live.
Well, what I think you're asking is when I kind of decided to really like amp it up.
Yeah.
But so I'll answer that question. So when I was 5 years old in Knoxville, Mount Olive Baptist Church, I was in the church. The pastor is preaching. He's doing his thing, shouting and all that. And I'm just in my head at 5 years old. I'm in the pews, and I have this overwhelming thought, like, God is not real. God is not real. And so I'm at 5 years old. I'm just pondering that. And I was like, okay. And I just went with it. I was like, all right, God is not real. And then what happened to my mind was it just went to like this. I thought, okay, so when I die, what happens? And then I just went to this place of like, dang, there's like nothing. So it's just like this black void I was thinking about. And for some reason at 5, I was just like, that can't be true. Like just nothing. And so then I was like, okay, God is real. But I still had doubts, obviously. And then, so because of that, I always knew God was real. So regardless of where my life was, I always knew He existed. So, you know, was in like Christian schools going up until I went to public schools. and didn't think anything of it. It was just, the thing we did. We had to go to church every Tuesday. And while I was in school, we would be in school and then the bell would ring and we would walk to the chapel. But that was just life. I wasn't thinking about it. And then so being in church and then start going through things with my family. Like my mom divorced my stepdad and then she moved and my actual dad was having issues. And so I was kind of staying with my dad, but was spending a lot of time with my cousin. We would go to church and I started like getting more like, all right, like this is what I'm supposed to do. But you got to understand, like I'm young. I'm young. I'm young. Like I'm my father's son. I'm watching, like we talked about earlier, I'm watching porn and like, I like women. So my life didn't look like what I think you kind of asking, like, man, you locked in, you don't make no mistakes. No, my life has never looked like that. I'm never going to get on a platform and be like, hey, man, like some people like, man, you haven't sinned. I gave it all up for God. Yeah. I haven't. But the goodness of God in Christ is like the God of the Bible, like he commits to you, even though you're not perfect. Like he loves you and married to you. He's married to the backslider, as the Bible says. So it's like in high school, I used to always tell myself, when I go to college, I'm gonna give my life to you, God. And so when I went to college, I still didn't give my life to him, but I started reading my Bible more. What happened was my dad started going to church, and he started the Sabbath. So he, like every Saturday, he would shut down and rest and just spend time with God. So I started locking in with him on that, and I would drive down from college and spend. And that's when I really started to like, okay, I'm gonna take you serious. Like, and then, but I was still doing my thing, bro. I'm young and in college. I'm a young athlete in college. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I got women. At this time I'm smoking. I was never really a huge drinker at that time. But then I kind of stopped smoking, and then my thing was just like, it's just women. It's just women. And so for a long time, that was just it. Just, women and partying and really doing a whole lot of nothing. And so, but the more I just like, okay, lock into God and just be in a relationship with him, like he just slowly starts to deliver you from things. And then, you start to make a decision like, all right, I'm 24, 25. Like, am I, like, how many women is it going to take? All right. Like, how many parties is it going to take? Like, all right. Well, how many blunts how many drinks? Like, am I still going to live for the weekend? Like, I'm still young. Like, let's have fun. But so then I just like and then I just had a shift in my life where I was like, got really big on fatherhood. And I was like, man, I need to be a better example than the one that was set for me. Excuse me. So I made up in my mind on my 24th birthday. I was like, man, I want to be married. And from there, it was just like on that journey to be like, all right, I still struggle with women, but I know that I don't want to be a cheater. I want to get to the place where I can stay with one woman. So by the grace of God, he got me there, and I just kind of stuck to it. And then spiritually, I just started learning more. And then started learning more. And like even now, like God is walking me through certain things. Like I said, we talked about porn, and like he's getting that off. But it's like the little things God is still working, like anger, irritation, and like now respect and rebellion. Like for me, working jobs, I have to be very careful about being rebellious in the workplace. So it's just a lot of things like that. To answer your question, man, it's like growing up in the South, folks always be like you lukewarm. But what I've been learning from God over these last decades is just that God, well, Christ, Yahweh, and God, God of the Bible, he's not a God who is, you have to be perfect to come to him. No, you just go as you are. Whatever sin you got, go to him. Spend time with him, and he'll work it out slowly. So, yeah, like high school, college, 24, 25, is when I really started like really being more serious, like really being serious and like reading my Bible and trying to pray more. And that don't look like every day. It's times in your life where just like in a relationship, sometimes you fall off, sometimes you're real strong. The point is just keeping the relationship. If we don't leave God, God won't leave us. God is always pursuing us. But if we leave him, if we cut off communication, if we say we don't want no part of him, he's not going to force himself on us. So if we keep ourselves open to him, he'll always be there.
Facts. Facts. I like what you said earlier before, like, I asked that question. You was like, you was kind of like a bad person at first, like before you like kind of connected with God. And that's kind of one of the things that happened with me, even with the college stories. Like, I was a bad person. I ain't gonna lie. I'm still getting better. I'm not perfect. Like you said, I'm not perfect. This is a constant evolvement. I mean, I'm constantly evolving. So it's like, I just be recognizing that story you said, like in college, like partying and drink. I remember I was at Grambling. I was at HBCU, so you know how I got like, it's like everywhere. And I'm trying to, I remember it was just one day, I'm like, bro, what am I doing, bro?
Yeah.
What am I doing? Like, I'm partying, wasting money, kicking it with girls. I'm not getting no true connection with the women. It's wasting time. And I remember this verse, this Bible verse, my favorite Bible verse. I say this like every video I make. Don't conform to the world, but transform by renewing your mind. And I heard that, brother. That's true. That's facts. And I transformed my mind since I started hearing that, bro. And I'm still not perfect. I was still smoking. I was smoking a lot. And just seeing the involvement from just then, because like you said, we got a long time to live to even get closer to God and get in more and evolve more and become a better person. Like, I was a bad person, irritation, anger issues. Man, I don't want to be bothering nobody. Rebellion, I'm rebellious, man. That's why I gotta create these platforms. I can't even do it because I'm rebellious. I'm gonna rebel no matter what. So I had to like do those things, and just seeing like how, seeing how God has been effective on my life is crazy. Like when you said that, like that's true. Cause like I was a bad person before. I'm still getting better. I'm not saying I'm just perfect. Cause no man perfect, bro. We all evolving. But that was deep for real. I want to ask you this: for to end it off? What's some advice to the high school, the younger? What's the advice to your younger self? I ain't gonna ask you. What's the advice to your younger self?
Advice to my younger self. Ooh. I struggled heavily with self-esteem and insecurity. So I would say to the younger me and to the younger man out there who are struggling with self-confidence and things like that. First of all, a lot of it is coming from porn. You probably don't know it, but it's coming from porn. So as hard as talk to somebody about that, stop watching it, but just believe in yourself. And even now, be around the type of people you want to be. Like, don't hang and try to become and try to fit in. Like, you be the leader, even if you got to do it alone. So, like, work on building real confidence and just believe in yourself. Like, if you don't treat yourself good, then nobody is. Like, if you treat yourself bad, like these little girls you like, they gonna treat you like trash because you don't treat yourself good. So you're gonna accept anything they give to you. Same with coaches, same with friends. So start learning how to love yourself, build real confidence, and don't put your whole life in a sport. Like, go out and find a hobby. Hang out with real people in real life. Learn how to approach girls. Like, just live high school, live college to the fullest. Now, if you playing sports, work hard at it, but still live life to the fullest, man, and just focus on that confidence and stay focused. And start your relationship with God today. No matter how high school, 14, 15, start your relationship with God today. Even if you're not perfect, even if you're not ready to give up everything, start your relationship with God today, and He'll do the rest. Right? Just start with Him. So that's my advice to younger me, man. Don't be so hard on yourself. You're greater than what you think you are. So allow yourself to be great. Allow yourself to have confidence, man, and everything will work out. Everything in your life is going to work out.
Hey, I want to say I appreciate you for taking your time out the day to come on the pod, man. Appreciate you, y'all, man. This is yeah. Anything else you want to say before I end? Or shout out, plug your pod and your socials.
No, I just want to definitely thanks for having me on. Give me an opportunity to talk and kind of just share a little bit of my story. I know it's tough, but I think I watched definitely some of your clips, and bro, I think you're on a great path. So just keep doing it, keep grinding, and don't be afraid to do it by yourself. Like if you got to run a show, like you told me at the event, solo, man, you got to break it off. But like right now, while you building and you trying to birth this thing, like don't be afraid to do it by yourself and put anybody who don't got that same passion and hunger, move them about the way. But if you want to connect with me, man, Mail2Man Podcast on YouTube. I am Curtis Phillips on Instagram, and Mail2Man Podcast on TikTok. So I'm on Instagram mostly. So that is I am Curtis Phillips on Instagram. Mail2Man with the number 2, Mail2Man Podcast on YouTube and TikTok, man. So y'all follow me there, hit me up, I respond, and I just love to have these type of conversations, man. And Dev, thank you for having me on, bro. It's been good. It's good to see you too. I ain't seen you since we've been in the gym, man. So
yeah, that's crazy. That was crazy. That's why I say that's God timing too. That's why I be like, yep. God timing for real. And appreciate you for the kind where I've been watching your clips as well. Like that's why I was like, bro, low key, I was like, forget the sports part. I'm trying to get on some real stuff because it's kind of like what I like the most. But hey, appreciate you though, for real. Just but hey, make sure y'all subscribe. Links in the bio. All your links in the bio, man. See y'all next episode though, man. Take care of yourself, man. Make sure y'all doing the right things, man.
Signing off.